Well, hello everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to Lisa Horton Crafts. I'm Sheryl and I'm here to share some beautiful Lisa Horton products that I used for the card that I'm going to be sharing today. This one is a new one that is actually it's the pick of the week this week. And there have been, if you haven't been to the Facebook group Lisa Horton Crafts Official, there are some fabulous makes with the new composition dies, and so I'll be sharing one of those today. I'm also going to be using the Sunshine Metallic Pigment ink. Hi, Jeanette, and hi, Lorraine. How are you? Glad to see you. Hi, Evelyn and Terry. Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you're here today. And this is the set of craft dies that I'm going to be using. It's the set G square brackets. Just isn't this gorgeous? It's such a beautiful set. And like all of the composition dies, it does have with it um, some ideas to get you started. So this got four designs like they all do. Oops, I'm kind of stuck here. So this is these are the four designs that are in this kit or this die set, and just beautiful dies, lots of detail on those flowers. Um, and then I've got two of the two largest dies I have out already because I'm going to be using those. And so let me put this back. How are you guys doing today? Who else is here now? Valerie. Hi, Valerie and Kim and Teresa and Rebecca. Mona, happy to see you. Oh, from Germany. How awesome. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Okay, and then I'm using for my sentiment, I'm using the sending, and I think I got birthday hugs for today's card, and I used get well wishes for the sample card that I did for you. And then I've got some gems, the Spellbinders Aura AB gems I'm going to be using. And then for my paper, I'm using one of the Modern Florals pattern heavyweight vellum, and I'm using this pattern here. There's 1, 2, 3, 6 patterns here, and this is the pattern that I'm using. It's 24 sheets and you get 4 of each pattern. Really nice vellum. So those are the products, and I'll bring in a couple of samples. Here is one sample. It's not the one that we're going to be doing today, but this is one I used just some gold vellum and the outline dot, those two largest dies to create this piece, and added some pearls to that, and used the just one of the bottom sentiments on there. And then for today's card, it's this one, and it is a pop-up. So really simple pop-up for today's project. And I've got the sending and the get well wishes. So that is our project for today, and we'll go ahead and get started. I did get some stuff done ahead of time just to save time because there's so much die cutting to do. So I did do my die cutting. I need 5 flowers altogether, and let me pull out that that die set one more time, because I used these 2 flowers. I used the, let me show you, because they're still on here. These are the 2 that I use. They're not the largest, they're the smallest. The larger ones are on the back, but I use this one I cut in vellum, and this one I cut in white cardstock. So I did that 5 times. So I've got 5 flowers, and I glued these on top of each other. And I do want to tell you, when you are gluing these together, you kind of have to pay attention, because some of them are shaped differently, and so you want to make sure you get that top piece matching the bottom piece. So I have 5 flowers that I've cut out already. And then I've got my shadow and my sending, and then the secondary sentiment is birthday hugs. And then I used these 2 leaves. I die cut these 2 and I cut out three leaves. So they, if you look at this die will cut a single leaf and this die will cut the 2 leaves. There's 2 of these and it cuts the 2 leaves. So I opted to do all 3 leaves using the leaves that cut out 2 pieces. So you have some options there. Let me get these together. And then the other thing that I did ahead of time was die cut my shadow piece behind my white cardstock. So we'll put that on. And then I have my panel, and I think I got an extra piece here that I don't need. And then I have my card base. And so what I've done here to make the pop-up piece in the center, I just cut that. I just actually marked it with a pencil. It's about, I think this is 1.5 inches wide. Let me high. And you can make it as tall as you want. I think that's what it is. Let me be sure. Maybe it's 1.25 inches. Yeah, it's 1.25 inches. And I just drew that on the spine of the card base. So then I just take my scissors and cut up that line. Just to the edge there. Okay, and then I don't cut that part, but I do want to bend this and get a nice little crease on that. And then we'll open it up and push it the other way. And bend that down and get a nice crease going that way. So that creates our pop-up. And I got some glue or something there, but you don't have to worry about this piece because we're going to cover it anyway. So that's how we created the pop-up piece for it. And then I want to color that. So I'm going to take, I got a scrap piece somewhere, scrap piece of paper. Yeah. And so I just want to take my my sunshine ink and color this with the sunshine. And I want to use, let me get another scrap too, so that I don't go over on either end onto the card base. And just color that. I'll do 1/2 and then turn my card around and do the other half. I'm doing this. I probably could have done a little more shading and make it look more like a flower pot or something, because it does have the shape of what could be a flower pot. So that's always an extra added thing you could do. It's still not too late, but we'll just keep going. I wonder, I could probably take some fool's gold and go across that side. You have to be careful which, if you do that, you need to be careful on which which end of this piece you ink up in a color. If you do some shading, because you want the piece that's actually going to be on the inside and not the top. So that would be the way this one opens. It's going to be this side if I want, and maybe let me just go ahead and put a little shading. What could be, let's see. I want something that's darker, but not too dark. And fool's gold is a little, we'll try it. If I don't like it, I can always, where's my, find my ink. Oh no, I got solid gold. That's not what I want. Let me put this back. Solid gold is not what I want. Where's my fool's gold? Oh, here it is. Let's see. That's a little bit lighter. Now if we could find my brush. Okay, let me find a little one. Here's one. Okay, so I'll just take this one and I'll ink it off a little bit so it's not quite so dark, and just add a teeny bit of shading on this side of what I'm calling my flower pot. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay. All right, so there we have the inside of our card is done. So let me get these inks out of the way. And then the next thing we want to do is put together our flowers to go onto our little flower pot top, our little topper. So I used 3, and I kind of put them together like this. Let me move these out of the way, kind of like that. And I put them together so I'd be able to glue them. So just kind of like that. And then the leaves, I just moved those around. There's my little pickup thing. And I just knew that I wanted 3, and I wanted them to kind of not be going at the same angle. So I did one here, and I know I did one in the middle, I think. That's what I did. And then I did another one over here. I think I did it kind of at the top over here. So that's kind of how we're going to glue this together. And then once we have all this glued together as one piece, then I'll glue it to the inside, and it'll create our little pop-up. So move this out of the way a little bit and get my glue. Sorry, I got my hands all in the way. Hi, Kirsten and Trudy, Lorraine and Alicia. Thank you so much for joining. Happy to have you here. So I'll start with these 2. I'll just kind of glue them together. Just put a little dab of glue on there. And hold that for a second. Let it grab. And then I'll get these 2. So I'll put glue on both these little pieces. And I probably don't need that center. And just kind of have it go like that. And then for the leaves, give that a second. And then for the leaves, I'll flip this over and let's see. What I did was kind of stuck this where I wanted. I just looked to see where it needed to go. Then I put glue down here and just laid it on top. And when I put the glue down, it'll grab both of those pieces. And I'm fine with the tips being loose like that. I'm fine with that. But I want to make sure that both of these pieces are glued down in the back. And I just kind of work my way around doing that, looking at where we want this one to go. So that'd be about right there where these two meet. And put this on upside down so that the smooth finish is facing outward. Trying to keep my fingers out of the way. And then we'll do the same thing for that third leaf, which we want to put it up here. So grab my two pieces. And this is the end that I want to be hanging out. So let's see. Probably like that. Okay, so flip it over. And then we'll put glue here, here, and here. And then, sorry, I keep moving my hands out of frame, but I can't pick these up. I have to slide them off to the edge of my desk. So put those down like that. Okay. And there we go. We kind of got some, just however you want it. And then the next thing we want to do is put this on top of our little pot. So I want glue kind of along this spot, going across. I'm trying to be cautious of the vellum, and then we'll just stick that on there. And I'm putting it up a little high so it looks, so you see more of the little yellow underneath, so it looks like a little flower pot. And then, nope, wasn't ready to be moved. I'm going to put this like this. I'm going to bring in one of my magnets and let that sit there for a second. And then we'll go ahead with our next part. So I've got, these are the two largest dies in the composite set, square brackets, set G compositions. And so to create our little outside piece, we're going to line this up and try to get your frame. I just realized as I did this, I probably should have waited to cut my inside, because it may end up that my backer piece isn't the same, but we'll see. So we've got that there, and then I'll get my tape. We'll tape that down. Try to get it as straight as I can. And I'll tape it on both ends just for safekeeping. And this tape has a really light tack, so okay, that looks, nope, this side is definitely bigger. So we're going to move this piece over a bit, just a wee bit. Okay, so now I've got this, and I'm just going to run this through my die cut and emboss machine. I gotta angle it a little bit. There we go. I'm in the middle of a thunderstorm here, so I hope it doesn't impact me. But I haven't seen any lightning, so that's a good thing. Okay. So I got this off. And now I got all these little pieces of tape to pick up, but because it is really low tack, it's not really bothering anything at all, which is great. Okay. I can get the rest off later, but let's see how our die, oh, what in the world? Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay. This is not a good day. I put my die cut backwards onto my card. Why didn't you guys tell me what I was doing? Oh goodness. You can tell what kind of Monday I've had. I was hoping that by the time I got to my live it would get better, but no, not really. Okay, so we're going to try this again, and we're going to actually put it on. I'll take this off. Not that it matters, I could flip it over, but it doesn't really matter. And we're going to take this off, and we're going to try this again with our cutting plate down so that it'll actually cut into the paper. That always helps when you're trying to create a die cut. Glad this is low tack, or I'd be sitting here forever. Okay, so let's do this again. I don't know what, it just didn't even dawn on me that I was doing that backwards, which is pretty scary. Okay. I said, I'm so worried about this rain. I better be focused on what I'm doing here. Okay, so we're going to try this again. We're going to put this down. We're going to get it lined up. First, let me tape this piece down because it's wanting to, now that I've cut it backwards, it's wanting to slide around a bit. So I'll have to straighten that out later. But we'll put the second piece down. Yeah, Roadrunner. I was really trying to do something special and didn't even know it. Okay, so let's try cutting this again and see what we get. Oh. Okay. Now let's try her again. All righty. So that's a little better, I'll say. Pull this off. I can probably get, yep, I can get my piece out and leave that together so I don't lose them. And so here's our, look at how pretty that is. Isn't that nice? I just love that. And it cuts so nicely when you put it in the right way. It's a beautiful cut. Very pretty. Okay, and then what I want to do is add this piece to the back. And there's a flat side and then the brighter color side. So I want the brighter color showing through the front. So I'm going to put this on here like this. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying I should have waited and cut them both together, but I did pretty good with lining them up. So I'm going to add some glue to the back of this and add it to this front panel. And I didn't really worry about putting it everywhere, but I just wanted to make sure that I had enough going along these bigger perimeter pieces to make sure they stayed in connected to one another. So just kind of go around. And this is one you probably could use double-sided tape, but I like glue better with vellum than the tape. And as long as you're going along where these are, I did the centers of these two just to give it some place to adhere. A couple of places. Let's see, I think that's it. I did a couple more. There we go. And then I'll connect these two pieces together. And the glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room. And I'll go ahead and let those go. And then I'll do the flower for my front because I used 2 flowers for it, and just angle down like that. Okay. So while we got all this adhering going on, we'll go back and check and make sure that our pop-up is still fine. And oops, I might have gotten glue on the top part that I didn't want. So I'm gonna have to bend this more now. So let me do it this way. Okay. Where's my, okay, there. Okay, so we have that. And then for my sentiment that goes on the inside, I want to ink up this shadow sentiment in the sunshine to coordinate. And find my piece of paper here. And I'll just ink this up. Find my brush. I don't know what I got on my shadow, but hopefully my words will cover that up. We'll see. Yeah, that's a good idea too, Roadrunner, on how to fill in that with color. Okay, so I think that's good. And I'll add some glue to the back of this. Make sure all my everything's poked out, and it is. Sometimes some of the centers of the letters want to hang around on the die. I like how you can mix and match Lisa's products. They go so well together. Okay. Yep, and that did take care of that, whatever that little, what that little dark spot was. Uh, make sure that's even. Okay, so now we've got our sending, and this time we're sending birthday hugs. So I'll just glue that down, and the inside of our card will be done almost. We'll have a little bit to do at the end. Adding a little glue to the back here to get that all set, and bring this back in here, and we'll put sending. And hold this up. Excuse me, I gotta hold this up just to make sure that it's straight. That looks pretty straight. And then birthday hugs. Well, can you hold it? And we're just adding some glue here. And birthday hugs. That looks pretty good. Okay, so there's our inside. And I like how big you've got some sheen when you move that around a little bit. Okay, so now we need to cover up our front and our back. And we'll do that with some tape here. Get this glue out of the way. Okay, here's my tape. I got that tape right up against the edge, so I'm gonna run my fingers around just to make sure that I don't have any glue tape hanging off. Okay, so we'll put on one panel, put on our front panel. And give that a good burnish. And we'll do the same for our back panel. Okay. Get that right up against that edge. And another good burnish. And then before you put your front on, you want to open it up just to be sure which way your card is going. So this is our front going this way. And so we can then go ahead and add some glue to the back of this piece. And again, you want to make sure you're going along the places on this piece that's not where the vellum is peeking through the design. So just along those outer edges. And this is a simple design. You can do it with probably any of the composition sets that have florals with them. So even if you don't have this one, this is the pick of the week though. So if you're needing to get these new die sets, it's a good time to do it and get them at a great price. Almost done with the gluing here. And then just kind of find your center and put that down. I'll hold it for a few seconds. Trudy, I'm using a A2. This is A2, 4.25 inches by 5.5. And then move these out of the way. We'll add some glue to our flower. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna fluff up these petals just a little bit with my fingers, give them a little extra dimension. You can add a foam square, but there's so much dimension already from the inside of the card. I didn't want to add that much more, but just a little fluffing with my finger. And then I'll put some glue on the back. And glue that down. And then I'll get my Spellbinders Color Essential Gems and add to the center of the florals on the inside and the outside. And that'll wrap it up. So this is a fun, easy card, and I love that you can use Lisa's sentiments, and this will work for a lot of different occasions. Thinking of you or birthday. So I'm using the largest one on this one. And then I think, did I use this? Yep, I used the same size. No, I didn't. I used the next size down for these flowers, but you can mix them how you want. Obviously. Such a pretty set. Again, this is the new set G compositions, square brackets it's called. And then we'll put a couple more onto these flowers, and I use 3 smaller ones for these. There you go. So we have our little pop-up. And that's today's card. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope that you have a fantastic week. Be sure to check out all of the other lives that are going this week. I do believe Claire is live tomorrow. And there might be a couple of other lives going on this week as well. And then, of course, Lisa on Friday night. So be sure to check out the pick of the week. There are other sets that are available. And I thank you so much for being here. You have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time. Oh, Lorraine, good. Your finger slipped. Well, thank you all. You take care and have a wonderful week. Bye for now.